Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back. Where I wanted to talk about why rental prices are dropping across San Diego and Tijuana. Okay, now as you guys know, San Diego and Tijuana kind of share a cross-border economy. I wouldn't go as far to say as San Diego's economy is so dependent on Tijuana's, but Tijuana's economy is pretty dependent on San Diego. Now, that's not a completely 100% accurate statement. It does have its own economy, but they have an interesting dynamic and symbiotic shared economy that I don't think really exists anywhere really in the world. So one of the things that I've noticed locally here, and also while I'm in San Diego, is the amount of for rent signs that I am seeing on just the drive-bys. Okay, just the boots on the ground, walking around, day-to-day stuff, and it is quite a bit. Okay, I mean it is an incredibly different landscape that it was from just a couple years ago. Okay, so I have some experiences that I'm going to share with you as well, some of my personal rentals and some of the rental trends that I've been seeing in the area here locally in Tijuana and then on the San Diego side. But first off, we have to understand what is causing the amount of inventory to essentially skyrocket, and then also what is causing the renter demand to weaken. Okay, we have to understand those dynamics, because the same thing that is happening in San Diego is happening down here in Tijuana beaches, and the larger, broader San Diego marketplace. So what has happened here recently is we've had, as we all have heard about, as we all are kind of under the understanding of, is an affordability crisis. Okay, we've had goods and services soar in value. We've seen rental prices climb year over year, to the point where there's just really no renters left to fill the void. Okay, and let me explain further. During COVID, we saw a lot of scrambling around. We saw asset prices climb. We saw, rental prices climb as well. We saw a lot of people moving around. So a lot of these areas that are only allowed to raise the rent a certain amount were able to kind of reshape the broader rental landscape in terms of price. Meaning, if people are moving out of their lease, that landlord can now raise that price of that same lease compared to if somebody was locked in, renewing the lease and only aggregately moving the price higher a certain amount. You can't raise it. You can't just raise the prices whatever you want. It's just not how the rental market works legally. Okay, so there's that. So we also had a large influx of people down here locally in Tijuana move down here, occupy these rentals. The Fed was stimulating asset prices and mortgage-backed securities, and people had a lot of extra money to essentially move around, and that's why you had a lot of people living abroad, a lot of people buying homes, a lot of people moving to various cities. Otherwise, they under different circumstances would not be able to do so. All right, these people would not have been able to have the extra capital to move around and relocate down here to Tijuana, into San Diego, out of San Diego. And it's not really specific to any of these areas. It's just what was going on. So in the present day, what we've seen is an increase in prices for goods and services. And what that really has led is it's led the budget of typical families in San Diego and Tijuana to really be able to move around. They're kind of locked in place per se with their current rentals, or their ability to move is a lot less free. Okay, and as we saw rental prices climb, we were seeing this thing where the inventory was creeping up. We had renter demand there to fill it, and now what we're seeing is the renter demand is almost non-existent. We've had people default on their credit cards. There's been leading trends. People are defaulting on car payments, not paying their bills. And you got to understand that the rental market typically is people who cannot afford to buy. Okay, so that is kind of the first thing we have to kind of look at, is the people that can't buy now have less money. Therefore, there's no demand for them to fill all of these, all of these vacancies across Tijuana beaches, San Diego metro area, San Diego. And one of the key areas that this is happening, and I noticed, is downtown San Diego. There's so many rentals available. They've built all these new, they built all these new condos. They've built condos and apartments into National City, where they've been tearing down these old industrial parks, rezoning them for residential. And long story short, they have a lot of vacancies that are not being filled per se. All right, into Chula Vista, they're building huge property developments along the Mexican border on the Chula Vista, California side, because that's really the only land that is kind of left south of San Diego until you go really inland. So they've done all this building, they've done all of this regentrification, and like I said, these areas, and there's just simply not enough renters that are moving around. Because if they move, they're going to be increasing the rent to what they were paying in the last 5, 6, 7 years, and they're looking around and they're going, well, I might as well just stay here, right? I might as well just stay in place rather than upgrade to that new apartment or that new condo or townhouse. So we are seeing the same thing happen down here locally in Tijuana. Okay, so the people that were moving down here, they're already here. Okay, and there's always some type of demand, right? I'm not saying that nobody's moving to San Diego, nobody's signing leases down here in Tijuana beaches. That would be a lie. But we are seeing inventory pick up, which we're seeing renter demand dampen. And that's why you're seeing owners, homeowners, landlords slash the price, simply because if they don't, nobody is going to rent, right? And we're seeing this all over San Diego. San Diego rental prices have came down. They're continuously coming down. If you've noticed, if you're browsing the area, the same thing happening down here in Tijuana. Like I told you, the place that I was renting down in Rosarito for $1,200. I looked at the listing a couple months ago. It was listed for $1,100. Then it got dropped down to $1,045. And I just saw it the other day. It's still on the marketplace for $1,045. So there's not one renter other than me. There's not one renter other than me that is willing to pay $1,045 in almost a year. This place has sat vacant. Okay, so I was the renter. Okay, and now there's nobody willing to pay $200 less, basically $180, almost $200 less than I was paying. So do you guys see the dynamic there? That's kind of what's happening on the rental side in San Diego. All the people that were in this rush to move around over the last couple years are now stuck in their rentals because they can simply not rationalize in their head a reason to pay more to just move to another rental unit locally. All right, so that's kind of what's going on down here at Tijuana beaches. You're noticing a slowdown. You're noticing in San Diego, and I would say that these rental prices will continue to go down unless there is some type of government intervention to stimulate the economy and money printing to boost people's asset prices or wages. But still, typically people that rent, we're not buying right now per se, or they're not gonna, they're not looking to purchase right now, at least for the time being. So that's why you're seeing a lot of rental prices around here, Tijuana beaches, San Diego, drop. And I would say that trend probably likely will continue. Okay, we'll see you soon. Take care.